for dinner.
Right. We Care Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's our hero highlight. Now, listen, we've got some stories.
Yes.
That you want to avoid because it is travel season. Summer's upon us. You're planning those family vacations. You get away, to de-stress. And to come back to a flooded house, it's worse than when you left. Mm-hmm. And you've got one heck of a story.
Well, we left and we were gone for 2 weeks. And when we came back, we opened up our front door and there was about a foot of water came flooding out of the house. And our upstairs bathroom in the toilet had overflowed, had stayed on the whole 2 weeks, and, of course, rolled down the staircase and then filled up the whole bottom
and you're
area.
talking
It was unbelievable. Never seen so much water coming out of a house.
And you're just talking about maybe a service call and a $10 or $15 part to make that toilet right.
Either that or turn off the darn valve before we left. One or the other.
And which one do you do? Well, I mean, what do you...
Well, you really should turn off your valves to your toilets or anything that could possibly come apart.
Let me ask you a question.
The pressure of the water.
Why would you or wouldn't you? I guess you wouldn't turn off the valve to the entire house because you need your fire sprinklers, right?
Yes, if you have sprinklers in the
they're
house.
on separate supply
but usually
lines.
they're on different.
So you could leave that, but turn the rest of it off.
You could turn it off for the whole house. It certainly wouldn't hurt anything.
But you said something. You said something earlier. I think you said a $6 or $9 hose would have prevented this.
Yes.
So let's go through this. Let's go through what people need to do so this doesn't happen. Because, Greg, you came home from dinner one night.
Let me tell my story really quick, and then we can jump into the solutions. But, yes, my wife and I go out to dinner. We come back. I'll never forget. We pull in the driveway, and there's water literally pouring through our porch, down the steps, down the driveway, into the street. We walk in the house. The wood floor is got 6 inches of water on it. I have to go get the shop vac and just start sucking water out. And it was a simple hose on the washer that blew. Because when the washer's off, it still has pressure in that hose.
How long ago was this, by the way?
This was 20 years ago.
So was this like a $9,000 dinner?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And your vacation...
very expensive.
Pete, your vacation was probably like $20,000. I don't know.
Fortunately, I had very, very, very good insurance.
Well, now that's important too.
Yes.
I mean, I know we're talking about plumbing questions and how to avoid this, but think about your insurance as well. But we need to go into these things, Greg. I know you want to cover this.
Right. So we talked about turning off the water when you go on vacation, but what other precautions should somebody do if they're going to go on vacation? And then what we should talk about maintenance. And I mean, I know you do free inspections.
We do free inspections. And we also have a maintenance program, both with our air conditioning and with plumbing, where we come out once a year on the plumbing to check all your fixtures, to drain your hot water heater.
So annually.
Do all the annual maintenance on, and then look at all your connections, all your pipes, all your faucets, and make sure that all those are intact so that you're not going to have those kind of issues.
Okay, Greg, real quick. Guys, I didn't know that you ever drain your water heater. I had no idea.
Well, there's
Every
two
year.
things. I think I'd like to break that down into two, because you have the normal tank type water heaters that should be drained because they get silt in the bottom and they start to rust. And then you have the tankless water heaters that are kind of the future, and eventually that might be the only option because of the energy efficiency. Mm-hmm. But those require service, and they're supposed to be flushed annually, right?
Yes, they are, and they're also very, very important that they have a filtration system before they get to the hot water heater on the tankless.
And they need to be installed properly, right?
Very difficult. A lot of people think that doing these types of things when it comes to tankless water heaters, that they can go down to Home Depot and buy a $1,200 tankless water heater and they can install it and it's not a big deal. Well, good luck. Have fun.
And I
hope it works and it doesn't come apart and it doesn't heat up too fast, or you've installed it improperly, you didn't do the right size pipes. There's so many things.
I can tell you too, because as a builder, we do a lot of these, and there are so many different things involved with, first of all, putting in the right type of tankless system.
It's got to be the right size.
But you've got the right size gas line. Usually the gas line has to be upgraded. The ventilation.
That's correct.
And like you said, there's valves and there's filtration. And if it's set up right, then you can easily come back and service it, right?
That's correct. And you have the warranty in place. If you do it yourself, you may not have any warranty at all when it comes to the system.
If you're just joining us for our Hero Highlight, we are talking with We Care Plumbing, Heating, and Air about the most common plumbing problems and how to avoid coming back from vacation or dinner like Greg and having your house flooded.
And a lot of these problems can be solved with some hero upgrades. Can you kind of jump into some of those
Well, there's
options?
a lot of different ones. One you just mentioned, tankless water heaters. And that's a big one because you're going to save a lot on gas, but the main thing is that you can have continuous hot water. So you could have 5 showers going at the same time, and you're all going to get hot water.
That depends, I'm sure, right, on the size of your house, or maybe the size of the
size of the
tankless
unit.
water.
It's very important on the gallons per minute, how big they are.
Size always matters.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm on bigger homes, you might have 2 of those
You could
systems.
have 2, absolutely. You could have 2. And then you also have recirculating pumps, which also help cut down on your water usage.
So you're not waiting, because the hot water is generated almost immediately, but it has to travel the distance.
Sometimes
of the
it could take 3-4 minutes to get to your upstairs shower.
So that's why you put a recirculating pump in, and that way, when you basically turn on your faucet, you're going to get hot water almost instantly.
That's correct.
And is that part of a Hero upgrade? That's
Yes.
part of the Hero. Okay. What other things can we do to avoid plumbing
Toilets
problems?
is a big one. We use most toilets are using 3 gallons of water every time it flushes.
3 gallons every flush?
Mm-hmm.
That was the typical with
That
the
was a
big
typical
giant
toilet.
tank.
Wow.
Okay.
So yeah,
1.5,
that's a good
6,
question. Actually,
1.2. They actually have toilets that are forced down with air, so that only use 1.2 gallons.
so in other words, the pressure comes partially from the air, not just the water.
Right, water and air.
Do you do
Okay.
any electric toilets?
I have never done an electric toilet.
So you don't really believe in those?
I've actually never heard of one. But an electric toilet, how is it different?
There's ones that have power that actually use power to create the flush.
Yeah.
Seems like a shocking experience.
Okay, well, listen. So far we've talked about tankless water, or tankless water heaters. Okay, then we're talking about your toilets. But just to be clear now, what are we doing with the toilets now to make them more efficient? I guess that's my
Well, by
question.
nature, the latest toilets are like he said, 1.5, 1.3, 1.2 gallons.
Okay, that's where
per
we-
flush.
okay.
And they actually have ones that are, I don't want to be politically correct, and 1 and 2 buttons on them. You know what I mean?
Oh, so one has more pressure than the other, more water than the other, because it's not necessary for number one.
Correct.
That's a great piece of information.
And
All
of
right.
course, there's faucets and
There's
shower
lots
heads.
of definitely shower heads.
Now we're going to come back with faucets. We're going to come back with shower heads, and I know Greg, you've got some more stuff you want to talk about with We Care Plumbing,
Right.
Heating and Air as our Hero highlight. But remember, when we come back, we're going to explain more about the Hero program as well, and how you can actually take advantage of it, as over 50,000 other Californians have. It's a very good program for you to finance these home upgrades and take the whole home approach through the Hero program. We'll be back right after this. Co-host, now listen, we are talking with We Care Plumbing, Heating and Air as our Hero highlight. We're covering common question problems, how to avoid floods, and how to make your home more efficient. But speaking of home efficiency and the whole home approach, first of all, why Hero? What is Hero for anybody who doesn't know?
Well, HERO stands for Home Energy Renovation Opportunity Loan. And it's a loan that allows you to do anything energy efficient to your home with approved contractors that have been vetted through the HERO program, but allows you to do so many different things. We're now doing solar, but there's plumbing, there's air conditioning, there's heating, there's windows, doors.
Tons of
there are
different
so
products.
many different things you can use with HERO, and I would say that 80% of the business that we do today is with the HERO program.
And that's what's so great, because the homeowner benefits in so many ways. And you were saying, you gave us a statistic that you said you're doing about 20 families a month. That over the time you've been doing this, it's 800 families.
Yeah,
you've
and that's
helped?
just me personally. Just me personally, not the company. The companies take that and multiply it by
wow.
10.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're doing many thousands every year.
But there's a reason for this.
Right.
The
Yes.
reason is this gives you, the homeowner, these families who otherwise couldn't have done these home upgrades
Yes.
without the Hero program.
That's
so how
correct.
does that work? Just briefly, so folks know what we're talking about.
So essentially, the loan goes through your county, and it is a public and private partnership, private lending, but it's going onto your property tax bill, which gives you some tax incentives to go
Right.
along with it. And so there's a lot of different things that are approved that have to be energy efficient. That are approved through the HERO program, but it works great because you don't have to have great credit. You don't have to. They don't check your income. It's on the house, and so that's what matters when it comes to the HERO program.
And the payments are deferred. We've
Yeah.
talked about that a lot. And what's nice too is it protects the homeowner. They don't have to sign off until everything's done and
That's
they're
correct.
happy with it. So what plumbing products do you sell with Hero?
I'd say the one thing that we sell the most of, pool pumps, tankless water heaters, and toilets. Those are probably the three biggest, and those are the biggest users of water, of course, and electricity. And so that really makes a big difference.
And I still come across a lot of people that don't realize how much energy a pool pump uses if you don't have a variable speed one.
Yes, and it's amazing. The statistics are that pool pumps are the fastest payback of anything you can put in your home, changing
Wow.
from a single to a variable speed pool pump.
And I
Okay.
would imagine air compressor, air conditioning
Air
compressor
conditioner
is
certainly
second.
right there is right up next
All
to
right,
it.
so real quick, we talked about low flow toilets. We're talking about tankless water heaters. We're talking about pool pumps, shower heads.
Recirculating pumps.
Yeah.
Okay. All of these things, they're covered under the Hero program because they are energy efficient water saving items.
That's correct.
And We Care Plumbing, Heating, and Air, a Hero approved contractor. What is your phone number?
It is 1-800-COOLING, 1-800-COOLING.
The other thing I wanted to remind everybody of is some of the tips we gave if you're headed out of town on vacation to avoid any plumbing problems. Which the key thing, Greg, was basically turn off whatever water you possibly can. Was that the kind of key concept?
At least either turn off, I would say turn off the main, know where your main water shut
He
off
looked right
is.
at me with that. Know where your valves are. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate that. He looked right at me.